Hey guys, and today I'm doing a budgeting video by myself because this is kind of my job, is the Christmas shopping. So I decided to get into the seasonal, I don't know, appropriate seasonal wear. It is my Anna and Elsa sweater, very famous from one of my Dollar Tree hauls. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I don't know, like so many people were like, where do I get that on that Dollar Tree haul? All I can say is Walmart has bomb stuff. Anyway, so, all right, now that we're all Christmased out, I'm going to talk about today how I budget and how we do Christmas, because Christmas can be a very overwhelming, anxiety-driven time of year. So that makes sense? I don't know. So let's talk about Christmas. Christmas is my favorite holiday. I know so many people's favorite holiday. And for me, it's about like people are just nicer, and you know, you get the warm fuzzies and like family traditions and like Christmas trees, and it's just like, oh, it's so great. But then there's this ugly side of Christmas that is stress. And for us, it used to be really stressful. Like here in Texas, I don't know if you guys live in the South or where else they have Hobby Lobbies, but even Michael's is doing this. Christmas stuff is out. It is July, okay? It has been out since June. And that happens every year. Starts out 50% off, then it goes to full price in like December, then back to 50, and then down to 90. It's like crazy. Usually what would happen was I would see the Christmas stuff go on sale at Hobby Lobby, and it would start my seasonal panic for the next many months until Christmas. And it was just because Christmas is always this thing where it's like so much money at once for us, because it's like gifts, but not just gifts. I always do a Christmas Eve party, and that cost me a lot of money going to Sam's and buying like a ton of food and stuff like that, because my like sister and like I like this too, and Justin's like this too, because like we always used to have this Christmas party at my parents' house. Justin actually proposed to me at our family Christmas Eve party, so there's like this nostalgic thing around these like spirally sandwiches we used to get and these little quiches and stuff, but it adds up. So that on top of gifts would always stress me out. So I finally decided one year enough is enough, and this is what I do, and people think I'm absolutely insane. By the time October comes around, I'm done Christmas shopping, and y'all might be like, that's impossible, that's crazy, but we're going to talk about how I do it and how at Christmas time I have no stress. Okay, so the very first thing or tip, this isn't going to be a very long video, I feel, because it's really some basic stuff. The very first thing I do is I shop year round. So basically, if I see something that I think is a great price, one, it has to be a great price, but two, I really think would be a great gift for somebody, then I get it. I don't give a fuck if it's January, okay? Pardon the language, we're having a day. So I don't care if it's January and Christmas just passed, I buy it. And I have an area in my closet where I store Christmas gifts. Now, here's the easiest kind of gift group to do this for. Kids. Kids are the easiest one to do this for, like younger kids. With my 14-year-old niece, it's a bit different because she's at that age where she like, I want money or gift cards, you know what I mean? So I'll tell you how to deal with that in a minute. But if you have younger kids or kids that just want toys and stuff like that, first off, I'm not a parent. Unfortunately, we really want to be. So I understand there's going to be things that are like the latest, coolest thing. And kind of how my parents always handled that is at Christmas time, if you want something that's like the coolest thing, hard to get, super expensive, you only get one of those things. You don't get a lot of them. So that's one thing that'll be very important to us when we have kids, whether they be foster or, you know, our own kids, both, whatever. We will have a one cool thing rule is kind of what I call it. So if you have kids, take that into consideration. Everyone's Christmas budget's differently, and ours is different every year too. So last year our budget, because we were going on vacation before Christmas, we're going in October, was $50 a family. That sounds really crazy, but okay, for instance, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, they have my niece and nephew, and so my shopping all throughout the year thing is whenever we're in Walmart or Target or Toys R Us and there's a clearance sale, I go to the clearance aisles and I find things that my niece and nephew would love, like toys like that. And usually they're like $30 or $40 toys for like 15 bucks. Sometimes I score really amazing, like, okay, for instance, and I do this for their birthdays too. When all the Christmas stuff went on sale, my niece's birthday was in February, my younger one. And all the Christmas stuff went on sale, and I remember my sister-in-law talking about at Christmas time that she's really into playing with stuff in the bathtub. So I noticed they had all this really cool stuff, like these Disney stick-em things for the bathtub, and this like tea set, and just a bunch of really cool stuff for the bathtub. And you can do this for Christmas. I just did this for her birthday. And they were like usually $10 a pop, and they were like, I'm not kidding, like $2. So I got her like 3 things she could play with in the bathtub. And then close to her birthday, I got her this mermaid Barbie that changes colors. It was like 20 bucks, you know, but I also got her those little things too to add to your present. So she felt like she got a lot, but I didn't spend a lot, if that makes sense. Okay, so when you want to do that with Christmas, what you would do with your own kids is pick your one cool toy, okay? And then the rest of the stuff is stuff you get your kids that you know that they're gonna love and they're gonna play with, but maybe you found it on clearance 6 months before. There's nothing wrong with that. And one of the biggest things that people make the mistake of, because I've tried to teach my friends this, is they think, oh, but so if I go and I only spent $10 buying all this stuff for their birthday, like on clearance, right? I bought them 3 items. It should have been like $100, but for some crazy reason I got it for like, maybe not $10, like $15 to $20, right? And they're like, but I feel bad because I only spent $15 to $20 instead of the $100 I would spend on them on Christmas. How much you spend doesn't matter. Whether it was on clearance or not doesn't matter. It's not like, oh, you spent a small amount of money, so you need to go ahead and spend that whole $100 just to make up for it so you can buy them even more stuff. I'm hoping that's making sense. That's the one thing you really have to watch yourself on this. Now, let's go back to my yearly budget. So my yearly budget was $50 last year. So I'm using people that have a bigger family, a family of 4. And this is how I classify families. Like, my sister and brother-in-law are a family with my niece, Katie. So that's $50 to them. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law with my 2 younger nieces and nephews, that's $50 for them. I classify my mother-in-law as a family. Like with my father-in-law, we always spend like more money on our parents. And then if you have like a sibling or something that's single, then instead of looking at a family, you would give them half it. So like my sister-in-law is not married, it would be $25 is our limit. And you have to set these budgets for yourself. And I know Christmas time is a time of excess where we feel like we need to do these things, but that's not the reason behind Christmas. So like with my niece and nephew, the younger ones, all right, you want, they want toys and stuff. They're younger, right? So I found this really cool thing last year. It was a Tinkerbell. So if you touch Tinkerbell onto something purple, her wings would light up purple. This toy was like a $35 toy, but I happened to find it on clearance for like, I think it was like $12.99. And then my nephew was in like cars and stuff like that, so I got him like a Hot Wheels track and stuff that I found for like 12 bucks, you know. And there's the $25 I had for the kids. Okay, I was able to get them really cool toys that actually cost more than our budget, but they were on clearance. Cool, they're done with. The rest of the $25, restaurant gift card to my sister and brother-in-law because they like that. That's kind of like what we do. We just give each other like restaurant gift cards. So then, like my sister's family, all right, she gets the $50 gets put towards her. Katie is older. She knows the value of shit. I hate to say she cares, but come on, she's a teenager. So $25 goes to her. Last year I gave them a gift card so they could just go out to eat without Katie, you know what I'm saying. So $50 there. You see what I'm saying? So each family you have to set a budget for and stick to it. And if you don't spend your whole budget, there's been years I found stuff for dirt cheap and I haven't spent the whole budget, and okay, that's okay though, because I got them nice stuff, it's good. Yeah, I got it for cheaper than the price of it, but I don't need to buy them anything else. That's not what it's about. Okay, that's ways you can save money. I hope that kind of makes sense. So that's why I kind of shop year round. I keep my eye out for stuff. Another thing I do too is once I've set a budget, our budget this year is fluctuating. It's a little bit more, I don't know. First I was gonna set it like last year, but I might spend more on our parents, if that makes sense. Like like Justin and his mom and dad, and then my dad and stepmom. I can't really give you an exact budget this year because I don't really know yet for sure, but I have got gifts for probably 5 of the people we buy gifts for. Basically, my goal is to always be done by October. So let's say you have people like my niece who's older, or people that you guys love giving each other gift cards, like restaurant gift cards and stuff like that, so y'all can go out and like do something nice. What you want to do for that is you want to focus on taking the cash you would spend on the gift card, and don't go buy the gift card way early in the year because some gift cards actually do expire. It's shitty. I don't get it, but that happens. So what I do is I take the cash and I have like a hiding place in the house where I keep kind of like the cash for Christmas. And I'm like, okay, this month we have $40 extra, so I'm gonna put it in the Christmas jar. And I've made a list of how much I'm spending on each person. And as I put money into the Christmas jar, I'm like, okay, I have enough to get this person's gift card and this and then they just cross off the list, if that makes sense. So when it comes to Justin and I, those are the only gifts we buy after October. But there's sometimes like this year I've already started shopping for him. We never really, when we were kind of broke, to be honest, and in debt, and you know, getting to the point we are now, one thing we did, and literally last year I think was the first year we started actually buying each other gifts again, and we started feeling like, okay, there's no reason to like panic or worry, like we can start doing this. What we would do is we'd set a limit, and we would, instead of giving each other gifts you open, we would do stockings. So inside the stockings, we'd say, okay, for my stocking, you can't spend more than 40 bucks. So he might go and buy me a charm from James Avery, and that might be most of his stocking budget. So we just throw some candy in there, if that makes sense. But if you're married, you know, and you have to worry about a bunch of kids and you just don't have the money, you know, buy the kids cheaper things. The one cool toy rule: buy the rest of the stuff throughout the year, cheaper things. It's okay, they're not gonna die. It's not what Christmas is about anyway, okay? Don't go over your budget. Just because you didn't spend that much doesn't mean you have to, or you need to buy extra stuff to match how much you would have spent. If you and your spouse really don't have the money to buy a lot of stuff for yourselves, but you just kind of want to do something fun for each other, or it's just like you're gonna miss that giving them something, because you know, part of Christmas, I get like the warm fuzzies from like giving stuff to people. Even if it's just freaking like cookies or something, I don't know, to like the police station I always make cookies for. So what we would do is the stocking thing. And you know, there were some years where we literally had no money after family budgeting, like giving them stuff. And it was like, we would just put fun little knickknacks or little like prank stuff. And we still do that, but at that time it was just like, just fun little cute things. It's like fun to open that you don't spend a lot of money on. So that's another thing you can do if you just don't have the money. So the biggest thing I can tell you, like I said, is set a budget for yourself. And what I do at the beginning of every year, my budget last year was $50 a family, or singletons got 25. So my brother, he's in a relationship. Here's kind of my rule. I don't buy gifts for the boyfriend and girlfriend. Now, I'm very close to my brother's girlfriend. I love her to death. So I made her some vegan, because she's vegan, I made her some vegan soaps. I make soaps by hand, you know, just to send to her, because I don't know, I'm just like, I'm a giver. My brother, he has asked, the first few years he asked to do this, I couldn't get behind it. I was like, I can't not get you something, but he's really just asked, he's not into Christmas gifts, and he's like, I would just rather everyone keep their money so nobody's stressed out, and we all just spend time together if we can, which he hasn't really been able to come home. But I respect the fact that it stresses him out to have to worry about it. So I respect that, and every year I send him like a card, maybe a little knick-knack, but not officially a gift, okay? And I always send my niece, his dog Phoenix, I always send her something. Last year I sent his girlfriend the soaps. Now my sister-in-law, she's in a relationship with a boyfriend. She lives with him. He's a great guy. We don't really know him that well, and I would feel awkward giving him a gift, if that makes sense. Because I feel like then you put that pressure on the other person to get you something. Does that make sense? When I say awkward, I mean, then they're like, oh God, this person gave me a gift, I have to give them a gift. So what we do is we always just designate what we call the singleton, for what I call the singleton fund. You're not a family, so I gave you this amount. And that's what I just figure out at the beginning of the year. So January's kicked in. Let's say you January's kicked in. You're gonna ready to implement this. You're gonna use last year's budget as your starting budget. So that's what I did this year. I figured out who we need to buy gifts for in January, what our budget would be, exactly how much we could spend on each family or person. And then if you have a really good year, then change it. If you have a really bad year, it can change. But if you start buying the stuff early or putting money in a can and you just hide it somewhere and you don't touch it, it's Christmas only, then Christmas comes and you've either got the money for the gift cards, or you have the money for whatever present you're gonna get them, or you have the present, and it's like, you can just enjoy the season. So I hope this helped you guys. If you have any questions about it, leave it in the question box. Leave it in leave it in the comments below. And like I said in our last budget video, all the comments on all the budget series videos, I'm going to collect all the question comments and do a Q&A with Justin when we finish this series. So if you have any questions or whatever, leave it in the comments below. I will acknowledge that I saw your question, unless you have like that weird Google Plus thing going on, because some of you guys, I can't reply to you. It's a privacy setting you have in your Google account. You might notice that no YouTubers ever reply to you. It's not them not wanting to reply to you. It's a privacy setting you have set that you might not even know about. So just know that I do read all my comments. And if you see me acknowledging other people saying, got it, written it down or something like that, and I haven't replied to you, I probably can't, but I wrote it down, if that makes sense. So
I will see